a spiritual life, whenever not only spiritual life, even if you see that our education, our growth, everything needs some kind of sacrifice and suffering, some kind of penance. That means austerity, some disciplines. These are called penance or sufferings, whatever you may call. These are essential, even for the growth of our life and our education. We need some kind, we have to go through some kind of strict discipline. Sometimes this strict discipline is unbearable, so we call it is suffering or penance, because that is when it is forceful. If you are not ready to accept, to reach the ideal, then it is one kind of suffering. So for the spiritual growth also, some self-imposed, some discipline is there, rules is there, do or do not. Whenever you try to follow it, so naturally there is a reaction of the mind. If you love this idea, I think reaction will be less. You can follow the routines and follow the disciplines, do's, do not. But when your mind is not ready, that means if you no love for the idea, then all disciplines, the rules is unbearable for us. The question is interest and love for the idea. Then to reach that idea, whatever condition is there, whatever methods is there, you will follow it with smiling face. So there is no question of penance, there is no question of sufferings, though there is no question of trouble. So in every to achieve anything in the life, it is applicable, and for the case of the spiritual life, if you have love for the ideal, then what you will do? Then whatever the methods comes in the way to reach that ideal, you will accept, follow it with perfection. There is no hurdle. You find joy in it because there is no gain without suffering. So there is called the beautiful blessed sufferings. Blessed suffering is this, means the suffering which you give the fruits. So that is why suffering brings success, achievement. So these are called all blessed sufferings. To achieve the real goal, higher goal, the sufferings, these all are blessed. For that examples, see, mother, terrible pain she has to bear, that is called labor pain before the birth of the child. Everybody knows it and know how much suffering it is. But it is blessed in that sense because without this suffering, mother will not have a child. So he boldly suffering like anything because there is a blessed is there, joy is there, he cannot have a child. The son or daughter, baby will be there. So similarly, the spiritual life will come. If you have to achieve this kind of joy, peace, bliss, so there is on the road, there is suffering, so many struggles, so many disciplines, and so many things should be there. Different ways and different methods, you have to follow it. So without suffering, there is no joy, blessed, but fruits will not come. That we have to understand in the spiritual life as strictly follow the discipline, practice. These are the steps. But those who are very sincere for their ideal, love for the ideal, these steps, this path is no longer difficult for them and not painful for them, but it is joyful for them. One is painful, one is joy. Because they are joyful in that sense, as a mother's sufferings, they are joyful because she knows she had have a baby after the suffering. So this is suffering is joyful. And those he knows, mother knows it. Similarly, for suffering is painful for them because they do not like this path. They are not ready to accept this path. So this everywhere tapa, you can show that a tapa, what is tapas? Bearing all this, to bear all these pains, that is the tapasya. That is the penance. That is the sufferings is blissful. It will be blissful. And unless you have a tremendous love for the idea, this suffering cannot be joyful. See that as for examples, as you people are practicing SDA, so many years you are doing, and you know what you will get out of it. Now we have realized it, that what you are getting. But beginner, they half-heartedly they do it, then afterwards they leave it because they don't think that it is useful them, but it is helpful for them. That is why they live on the way, midway. So spiritual life means in other way, you have to go through this penance, go through the disciplines. So that way, it is essential condition, but primary condition to achieve the goal. Penance is required, suffering is required to achieve these things, achieve your goal. And spiritual means when we want to join ourselves thinking of the God, when the spirit, no worldly things will be there. This is purely spiritual, pure thoughts. Generally, most people, we are living in a very the worldly things. We always want worldly things, worldly things, worldly things. And we want this spiritual achievement with the comparing with the worldly things or worldly thoughts. That is not possible at all. Knowledge, a spiritual knowledge, a spirituality and the worldly, that is called Visa, and God. Both are two different things. So this, when so much out of suffering, penance, good things comes. They give the examples, beautiful examples. When a gold is burnt, then pure gold comes. You can make it a ornaments. So out of burning heat, how much heat generated and burn, reddish, then pure gold comes. So similarly, man should burn. Man should burn with the disciplines. Through disciplines, rules and regulations, then man will be purified, more pure. It is like a washing machine. In washing machine, it is how much turmoil is there. After that, this cloth become white. Similarly, man should go through this penance, suffering, rigid rules, regulation, then man become pure, purer and purer. So spirituality, it is essential. Penance or suffering is essential. So tapa, there is a tapa, three kind of tapa. Tapas, mentally, physically, and verbal word. Another way they put it, we should not speak bad words. That is also one kind of penance. No impure words, bad words, mana, mind. Mind should not think impure things. Then body. Body, and we should not do anything, act bad things. That is also one kind of penance, tapas, how much restraint. Three kind of. The most important thing is mind and words. We generally, whenever you are in a tea table with the friends, what kind of topic is going on? All rubbish, nonsense. To restrain yourself, that is also tapa, penance. You should leave that place. Similarly, the mind, you watch your mind, you see that impure things should not enter into the mind. So these three kind of tapa, penance, sufferings, other way, is essential for the spiritual life. Mind should not indulge in the impure things and impure thoughts. Shall we come this way on this line? So, and Holy Mother used to do Soni Tapa in the fire. She sat there, nothing has happened. So we give importance or emphasis on the tapa or penance, more interesting or more important in the words, mind, and physical body. We should not worship the body. We should not, our energy, everything will use for the decoration of the body, as Sri Ramakrishna used to say. You are worshipping this body, what is the use it is? You worship which is inside. So penance, suffering, attapa, you can think this way for our spiritual growth, for spiritual achievement. Otherwise, if we don't take care of this kind of penance, so we should worship, pamper the worldly things. Worldly things, to keep aside these worldly things, worldly thoughts, worldly talk, we must have a penance that control over the thought, mind, and deed, what you are doing also. So these are the few points, just I can say, but you can now ask the questions.
Thank you, Maharaj. Very nicely explained. Now, request if any questions from others. Anybody? Any questions?
Yes, Maharaj, this is Akhil. I have a question. Maharaj, you have given a very deep insight into the topic, but I have a question with the point of view of the beginners only. Sometimes people may confuse the penance which you are talking, and particularly Sri Ramakrishna has given one example in which he compares the worldly people with the camel who eats thorny grass, and he also suffers out of that. People used to suffer, still they are indulged into that. So how, means a bit I have an idea, but need your some insightful knowledge into that area. Okay, how penance can be differentiated with the worldly sufferings, and a yardstick can come to us so that we can have a better insight and we can judge whether we are on right track or not.
You see, penance also is a suffering, and suffering also is suffering. Penance, this kind of suffering, hardship, it is only for the achievement of the pure things, good things, that is called penance. That is also suffering, you have the hardship. When in the worldly life, there is hardship, that is called suffering. But for spiritual growth, for spiritual goal, hardship is called penance. So suffering and penance, difference in that. Actually, hardship is called suffering to achieve the material goal. That is worldly suffering. These are hardship in the life. Similarly, in the spiritual growth, there is hardship. There is other is suffering, but that is called defined as a penance for good to achieve the pure things. Spirituality, hardship is called penance, and worldly things, achieve worldly things, the hardship is called suffering. For beginner, they have no patience, they have no forbearing power. For worldly, achieve the worldly thing, they have to show some extent forbearing power or patience, because you know that if I get the degree, if I get the money, if I get the car, then I will be happy. But spiritual field, people have no patience, such a forbearance power, because they cannot see the tangible something, but it is question of feeling. Here tangible, I can see the car, I can see the house, I can see the money, these are the achievement I will get it through hardship. Whereas in the spiritual life, It is a question of feeling. I'll be more better, I'll be more peaceful, I'll be more happy through hardship, which is called penance. So patience is most important for beginners. And when they get the taste, so after that, he will go ahead. He will stick to it because he is getting more and more and more. So this is the difference between suffering and penance. I think you got this point.
Yes, that's perfect. Thank you very much.
Anybody, any question more? Maharaj,
Namaste, Swamiji. This is Puneet. Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
yeah, please go ahead, Puneet. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Namaste, Swamiji. This is Puneet. I wanted to ask Swamiji, what steps can we take to deepen the love for the ideal?
See, this is the practice, and if see what steps you should take for the love for the idea. So first things, your mind should align, but focus that this is the higher goal. I'll be more benefited by this, even these worldly things. This kind of conviction should come through argument first. Then step will come automatically. First step, to convince your mind this spiritual goal is far, far, far better than the worldly goal. To convince through kind of logic, love will come, then steps automatically will come. Because you have to develop love for the idea. Why we are not able to develop the love for the ideal? Because hindrance is worldly object. Because of the worldly object, mind get distracted to love the spiritual world. So worldly thoughts and worldly matter is a hindrance. They are the in between comes to intensify your love for the spirituality. So steps should be taken by increasing your love for the ideal, keeping aside the worldly thoughts. Then steps will come automatically. Because steps you have to take. You have to develop that interest. The more you are interested, more you convince your mind and interest, no naturally steps will come automatically. As you find that sincere students, how they use their time for the study most of the time, but the other students are not able to do it because love for the goal is not so much as the serious and sincere students has a tremendous love for the goal to achieve the degrees. So this is you have to develop strong bind or love to the idea. Then steps should come. Automatically step will come. Okay.
Thank you, Swamiji. Thank you. Bahut acha. Thank you.
Maharaj, one more small question I wanted to ask Maharaj. This is most of us we don't want suffering. So is accepting the suffering or converting the concept of suffering into blessed suffering is the way, or is there any other way?
See, suffering, what is the definition of suffering? To achieve the goal, hardship is suffering. That hardship to cross, if you want, whatever you want to achieve, To learn A, B, C, D, there is a hardship. You have to sit down for 1 hour. For examples, there learner, beginner, just writing A, B, C, D. See how mother is trying his best, cajoling him to sit down 1, 2, 3. He does not want to stay. After 2, 3 days, he sit, come quietly and just write A halfway. So this hardship, and some children will find they come, sit calm and quiet going on writing. But this boy is so naughty. He will not sit calm and quiet and write. So this hardship of the naughty boy, he does not like it, that is hardship. And for him, he like it, there is no hardship. So that is also depends on love for the ideal. Hardship will come. Hardship means suffering. 5-10 मिनट्स बैठे रहता है, पर कौन बैठे रहेगा भाई, ये तो मेरे लिए मजबूरी होगी. दूसरा वे जो छोटा बच्चा है वो तो चुपचाप बैठे. तो meaning is that this suffering, this hardship, instead of suffering, here you can mention hardship. Hardship is there to learn everything in the life. So this hardship, without hardship, we cannot achieve anything. Hardship become easy when you love the ideal more and more. But you have to go through this process. In writing, you have to take the pen and the book, you have to write A. But you have to go through the process. Even for the class 1 or class 12, pass the class 12, there is hardship there. The rules is there, methods is there. You follow it. And that is a question of called hardship. How much time you have to spend, and 1 hour and 2 hours you have to study, you have to go to the school. And some students do not like it. Hardship is more suffering, more and more prepare. Whereas a successful candidate, there is a hardship, the feeling, suffering is there, but not much hardship, because he like, I have to pass the 12. So degree of suffering changes, but hardship is there, suffering is there every year. But its intensity increases or decreases according to your
Maharaj, you are muted.
Okay, we can close here.
Yes, Maharaj.
Thank you.